Let's stay with that financial assistance package announced yesterday, bring in the Labor leader Anthony Albanese. Mr Albanese, good morning to you. So this is clearly welcome news for distressed Sydneysiders.
It is. Sydneysiders are really struggling. I think the government needs to explain why we're not doing the model that was there before we know works of JobKeeper, of that direct subsidy to keep the relationship between employers and employees. So we're a bit concerned about that, but it is important. We're going to need these packages for as long as lockdowns occur, and lockdowns will continue to occur while this government doesn't fix the rollout of the vaccine and doesn't have national quarantine facilities.
$600 a week, though, is nothing to be sneezed at. It'll be warmly received by so many people in Sydney.
Oh, look, they're struggling and they've been crying out for help. This is something that we've been calling for. We called for when Victoria had a lockdown as well. There's a need to provide that support. People are really struggling. I note the Prime Minister last Friday saying that people had a buffer in their budgets. That just shows how out of touch he is. People are doing it really tough. I had a small business on the phone to me last week crying, literally, because he employs 20 people. He's built up this business over 6 or 7 years, and he just was distraught at the idea of laying people off. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to speak to him since this package has been announced, but I certainly hope that it not only enables his business to survive, but enables him to keep on those employees.
Let's hope so. Now we have this rather unseemly war of words erupting between the Victorian and federal governments. The Victorian government claims the federal government had to be shamed into offering assistance to Victorians. It's a disgrace. We have last night the Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, accusing Premier Daniel Andrews in Victoria of whinging and politicising this crisis. This is the last thing people need, isn't it? These political games at a time when we're facing this severe threat.
It is. When I moved a resolution expressing solidarity and empathy with Victorians when they were going through their difficulty, Josh Frydenberg's speech in the Parliament that was written up by some of the government cheer squad as being a strong, fiery speech, I thought was a disgrace. And Victorians, I'm not surprised that they feel concerned, because the truth is that this government has pointed the finger at Victoria. They've spoken about gold standard in New South Wales. And the truth is that Victoria went through a tough time and New South Wales is going through a tough time now. We need, as a national government, to support people wherever they live, whether it's New South Wales or Victoria. And I think the federal government, and in particular the federal treasurer, who's from Victoria, I think some of his comments over a period of many months now are what has caused this tension.
OK, just another issue before you go. Anthony Albanese, we could be just 2 or 3 months away from an election. Is the Labor Party going to back in those Stage 3 tax cuts?
Look, we've had no discussion at our shadow cabinet about those issues. Of course, they're already legislated, and that's why there's nothing before us at the moment.
Well, the question is, will a Labor government repeal those Stage 3 tax cuts, as some in your party have suggested you might do if you win?
We'll announce all of our revenue measures and as well as all of our expenditures well before the election.
Just very quickly, you're a Sydney MP. Your electorate is in the inner city part of Sydney. You've been out of Sydney for some time. Do you know when you're likely to get back? Are you bracing for a potential long stay outside of your electorate?
Well, I'm here in Canberra now. I have my Deputy Chief of Staff is coming down today. My Chief of Staff is coming down this week as well at the end of the week, because it's likely at the moment people who come to Canberra who've been in Sydney are going to have to quarantine for 2 weeks in order to participate in the Parliament. So if I went home today, then I would have to come back on Saturday or Sunday and go into isolation for 2 weeks. They're the rules that are in place in order to be able to participate in person in the Parliament. I think it's important that parliamentarians, if we can, participate in the parliament. It's obviously particularly important for the leader of the opposition, but it's a difficulty. I'm missing my son. I miss my puppy. I miss my home. It's difficult, but it's nothing like the difficulty that Australians are going through. Those Australians in southwest Sydney who were queuing for 3 hours to get a COVID test overnight because they're essential workers who work outside the area, they're doing it tough. It's a very small price to pay for me to be away from home in Canberra here.
Lots of anxiety around this morning. Anthony Albanese, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, Michael.